Hello guys! In this video I'll give you 10 ways to improve your wildlife photography and filmmaking without having to buy new gear. So if you want to take your wildlife shots to the next level, stick around. Let's just get to it. First up, the most obvious. Spend time outside. Learn about the nature, the different environments and your surroundings. Try to go out and just take a walk. Scout locations and be aware. Be patient and observe everywhere you go. Knowing about animal behavior is key to great shots. So when you find animals, make sure to spend time with them and pay attention to what they do. Animals behave differently throughout the seasons, so try to follow along in the lives of the animals and come back once in a while to see how they're doing and what they're up to. Number 2, diversity. Portraits are really compelling, I get that. It's nice to have your subject looking straight into the camera. But don't just shoot until you get one good shot and then move on. Try to wait for action to happen. Diversity in your shots tells a deeper story about the animal. Wait for your subject to move, to interact with other animals, to eat, hunt, fight and so on. Try also to incorporate the environment and put your subject into the scene, so to speak. Think about both shooting wide, medium and narrow to get more diverse shots. You'll be surprised at what a huge difference it makes. Number 3, don't try to sneak up on your subject. When I first started shooting wildlife, I went out with the idea of just walking around, finding animals everywhere to shoot, like they would be all around me. But soon enough, I learned that it wasn't the way to go. Animals are shy by nature and the senses are way sharper than yours. They'll probably hear you, see you or smell you way before you even see them, and you'll only get shots of their back as they flee. Instead, use your brain to your advantage and try to read where they'll go and get in front of them and wait until they come to you. That way you'll get way closer and face them, and that surely makes for more interesting shots. Number 4, light is mandatory. The most dramatic and epic light appears at sunrise and sunset when it's golden hour. I guess you already know that. But predict where the light will shine from and position yourself to the subject to get a beautiful backlight, a side light and so on. Try to play around with silhouettes, highlights, shadows, and you'll see how your shots elevates to the next level when you use light as an artistic element. Number 5, the weather. Though we just talked about light, but don't just get out and shoot when the sun shines. The change in weather adds drama to your shots. Play around with the elements and try shooting in rain, fog and high winds to get different kind of shots. Another important thing is to remember wearing proper clothing. If you start freezing, you get wet or even too hot, it will limit your creativity, your patience and your morale, and it will affect your shots in a bad way. Number 6, plan your sessions. Before you go out, it's always good to have an idea of what you want. That way you can prepare yourself on what's coming, though we can always be surprised, of course. What animals are you going for? When will they be active? Where will they be? And what will they be doing? Ask yourselves all these questions and do your research. And as mentioned, try to scout your location before you head out there to shoot. That way you come home with a lot more useful shots. Number 7, get down low. Composition is important to all kinds of photography. Try to get down on the ground and be in eye level with the animals. That way your shots will empathize a lot more with your subject and you'll feel way more immersed in the subject's environment. It also makes it easier to position your subject away from the background to isolate it and make it stand out. I'm not saying that you should do this every time you're out shooting, but it's a great starting point for good shots, and you can always play around with different compositions from there on. Number 8, learn your camera. Spend time fiddling around with your camera, the settings and all the custom buttons. Things often happen within a second, and your camera reflexes can make it or break it when trying to get the shot. You have to know your camera inside out It's your best friend out there, so get to know each other well. Number 9. Hide away. The better you hide, the closer and more intimate you can be with the animals. If they don't know you're there, the animals will have a natural behavior and will not be alert or flee. Camouflage is of course a great way to hide, but if you don't own camouflage, just think about the color of your clothing and make sure it matches the environment you'll be shooting in. A screaming yellow is maybe not the way to go. You can also use branches, trees, leaves and grasses and other environmental elements when you're out there to hide yourself. Also think about wind direction and position yourself up against the wind if your subject has a great sense of smell. Same goes with the sun. Don't stand like a silhouette with the sun right behind you. That makes it way easier for animals to see you. Stay in the shadows and let the light catch your subject and not you. Number 10. Stability. Shooting handheld is nice and convenient when on the move, but it requires a higher shutter speed to compensate for handshake to get sharp photos, and shooting video handheld will most likely get you shaky shots. Shooting with, for example, a tripod makes you able to shoot in darker scenarios and lowering the shutter speed to get in more light. A tripod also stabilizes your footage when shooting video. If you don't own a tripod, try instead to place your camera on a branch, your camera bag, and even maybe your shoes or something else to stable out your camera. That's it from me in this video. I hope it was useful. If you have other great ideas on how to improve wildlife photography without having to buy new gear, please write them in the comments down below, and maybe we could make a part 2 with all your inputs. That could be fun. It's about sharing, and all the small tricks and tips are most welcome. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like this video and subscribe if you want to see more of this. Your support means everything, guys. So thank you. Hope to see you in the next one. Bye.